So let's set the stage here. So as a Canadian, or if you're a permanent resident or somebody coming here for school, you are entitled to rights and freedoms. Those are located in the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Hopefully some of us have heard of it before. Does anybody know what a charter is? Just out of curious. Yes, what kind of list?
Like an official list? Like, it's...
You could say that, yeah.
It's like a legal document.
Getting close. Yeah, it is a list. I like the word using, legal list. It's essentially a charter is a set of rules and regulations. So yes, Canada has a Charter of Rights and Freedoms, but many other organizations have charters as well. You might think about the Olympics that just took place this year. So the Olympics have a charter, and that's a bunch of rules and bylaws that these committees have to follow when the games are happening. And the Olympics is, completely different than a country like Canada. Most other countries have something similar. Various organizations have charters, which is, like I mentioned, a set of rules that we typically follow. So in Canada's case, there are rights and freedoms located in that charter. Everybody is entitled to equal benefit and protection of the law, regardless of any of these characteristics. And sometimes these are called protected characteristics. So if you are denied something or somebody else is given preferential treatment based on any of these characteristics listed below, that is technically a violation of an equality right. So these are in place to ensure that the playing field is essentially as level as possible for everyone. That's why they're there, and they get tinkered with and modified every now and then. You've also got legal rights. So your legal rights, it's essentially linked to the Criminal Code of Canada. So I'm sure many of us can imagine there are certain things that people are not allowed to do to you. For example, somebody can't just randomly come up to you and assault you in public. That's not allowed without some kind of consequences. I'm not going to go through the criminal code here. There's also a lot of rules regarding being detained or imprisoned. So police officers and law enforcement officials have to follow a certain set of rules to ensure that your rights are respected in that sense. I'm not suggesting you go and do something to go get arrested. That's probably not a great idea regardless. However, in the event something like that happens, or maybe you're falsely accused of something, there are safety nets in place to ensure those rights, your rights, are respected. You've got democratic rights, pretty simple. Essentially, when you turn 18, you get to vote in federal, provincial, municipal elections. I believe we have a municipal election coming up pretty soon, so I would encourage all of you to get involved with that and make your voice heard. And then there's also an election, I believe this is both federally, I think it applies to all levels, don't quote me on it though. But every 4 to 5 years, there's going to be an election that happens regardless of who is in power. The other two sets of rights that are present are language and mobility rights. Fairly straightforward. So English and French, if you want to receive government services, you can get them in either language. The other language right that ties into here that's not listed is you are free to speak whatever language you want while you're in Canada. There's many individuals that perhaps speak English, but also have their mother tongue or a second language that they communicate with their family members in. So you're more than welcome to speak it. But in terms of services from the government, it's either English or French. And then finally, for mobility rights, you can go anywhere you want. You can leave Canada and shred your passport and never return if you want to. You can move to a different province. And if you leave Canada for whatever reason, you're always welcome back. So these are all the main rights that we have in a nutshell. Some of you may be thinking, why are we talking about rights? Hold that thought. There is a reason why I'm bringing this up. We're setting the stage for what's about to come. But let's do a question, shall we? I have lots today. It's going to be a rapid fire session when we get to it. Well done. Okay. We have some very savvy civics individuals in here. That's good. So the question, so as a Canadian citizen, you don't have the right to express your opinion on a political issue if a majority of people think it's extremely offensive. So yeah, this couldn't be farther from the truth. Yeah, you are entitled to an opinion regardless of the issue, regardless of what it's about. Nobody can purposely punish you or censor you for having an opinion. So that's good that most of you recognize that. Off to a flying start. That leads me to my next slide here, where we get into freedoms. So does anybody know the difference between a right and a freedom by chance? I want to take a guess. Not bad, yeah, not bad. There's pieces of that you're pretty close on for sure. Anybody else want to take a stab at it? Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's actually pretty good too. Yeah, so both of you mentioned how rights have a legal component as well, and that's for sure. And freedoms, while they are also present in the Charter, freedoms, there's a little bit more gray area to those. So it's a lot easier to prove if a right's been violated or taken away. Freedoms are a little bit tricky, and you start to get a little bit of interpretation involved, which can make things messy. Either way, when we're talking about freedoms, you are free to a conscience. You are free to believe whatever it is you want to believe. Nobody can force you into believing anything. You are free to practice any religion that you would like. You are free to assemble peacefully. So you may have wandered around and seen various individuals protesting various causes. You are free to protest any cause you want, as long as your protest is not causing harm, physical harm, to anyone else and is respecting local bylaws. You are free to associate with any group you want, belong to any group you want, leave any group you want, your choice. And then finally, sort of linked to many of these, thought, belief, opinion, and expression. So you are free to have thoughts, you are free to believe things, you are free to have opinions, and you are free to express said opinions. But I have a question on here. Are we allowed to say whatever we want? Shaking your head, no. So why aren't we allowed to just say whatever we want? Why aren't we allowed to just say whatever we want? Yeah. So defamation. So just to get everybody up to speed, what do we mean by defamation? Yes, I'm not sure if it's civil or small claims, not 100%. But yeah, defamation essentially is where you have to be careful, they have to be objectively false statements. So if you make an objectively false statement about somebody or a business and it ends up costing them revenue or harming their reputation, they get fired, yes, you can't do that. That can definitely come up. Do you want to add in? Yeah, absolutely. With great freedom, I've sort of taken a quote from Uncle Ben, with great freedom also comes, you got to be responsible with said freedoms, right? So besides defaming individuals or groups, so saying objectively false statements, is there anything else that you're not allowed to say and you can absolutely be penalized for? There's two more things I'm thinking of. Yeah. Yeah, so how would you define hate speech? That is one.
Something derogatory about a group or religion or ethnicity.
Yeah, so hate speech is, Canada's got interesting hate speech laws that, again, have been developed more recently. The interpretation of said laws is all over the place. There's no real clear-cut line in many cases. Essentially means any protected characteristics, so the equality right traits that we went over, if somebody is going to go after you based on one of those traits, then that would essentially be the line crossed, essentially. Yeah, so you can't necessarily do that. Yeah.
You can't call someone a racial slur.
Uh,
Like the N-word or something.
Yeah, so that sort of ties into what was said earlier about hate speech. So going after a protected trait, which was in the equality rights, which race would be one of those. Yeah, definitely would fall into there. Yeah. Yeah. So again, all three of you tied into that idea of hate speech, which we're going to touch on in just a moment. There's one more thing that you can't say or do as well. Yeah. Bingo. Threaten anyone. not just people who are in not just civic leaders, but yeah, you're not allowed to physically threaten harm to anybody. That's not allowed. That's very illegal. Can't do that. Can't threaten physical harm to individuals. So I like the point that Ivan made earlier about, yes, you've got freedoms, but you got to be responsible with said freedoms. And unfortunately, many individuals misuse freedoms. They take them further than they were initially intended. So harassment is sort of falls under some of the topics we discussed, which is defined as repeated actions that intimidate or offend others. This is again a gray area and something that's a little bit tricky to prove if you're trying to go after somebody for criminal harassment. The bar here they call is reasonable fear, but again, you might ask yourself, what's reasonable to one person may not be reasonable to another. So it's tricky. Either way, that is excused. You're not allowed to do that. Threatening physical harm or violence to any individual is prohibited under any circumstances. So we talked about hate speech. So again, inciting hatred or violence based on those protected traits that were discussed in equality rights. And as I mentioned earlier, it's difficult to prove legally because, again, what one person may deem as hatred or violence might not be defined the same way by someone else. So it's a bit tricky. And then finally, the last one is what we call reckless speech. So these are situations where, you're making a false bomb threat. Those are very, very serious. There have been a couple of instances of that happening in Canada, a lot of them happening in the States. You're not allowed to yell fire in a crowded space. That's also not allowed because then people panic and freak out and trample on each other and a lot of people could get hurt. So, yes, you are free to express opinions and to dialogue and to speak your mind, but you need to be responsible about it. And we want to keep that in mind as we go forward in this class.